I get a lot of messages from people asking about home defense tools that aren't firearms, so we're going to go over a few options today. By the way, this video is for entertainment purposes only, and make sure to follow all your local laws. Okay, so we're going to go over a few different options today that are pretty much available to everyone. Before we start, make sure to cover the basics and fortify your home. Make sure you have security cameras and an alarm system. Put up a door security bar on your front door. Also add motion sensor lights all around your house. Okay, so the first home defense tool is a baseball bat. You don't need any training, they're cheap, they do a lot of damage, and they're available pretty much everywhere. The next home defense tool is a hatchet. Hatchets are great, you can get them at most sporting goods stores and hardware stores. They have a good amount of weight behind the head and they do a lot of damage, so it's a great option as well. The next home defense tool is one that comes up a lot, but I don't really recommend. And that's the crowbar. So a crowbar is really good because it's available at pretty much every hardware store and they're unbreakable. The bad part about them is that they can be a bit heavy. You don't necessarily have to be a bodybuilder to actually wield it. It's just a matter of practicing with it and getting used to it. But also keep in mind that if you've ever been in a situation where your life is in danger and you're fighting someone and adrenaline is pumping, things that were really heavy before end up seeming really light in that situation. So for example, if you have a baseball bat in your hand, normally a full-size baseball bat might seem a bit heavy to you. In that situation, when your adrenaline is pumping and you're fighting, that baseball bat feels light as a pencil. The next home defense tool option is a machete. That's another tool that you can get at any store that has a camping section. A machete is one-handed, so your other hand is free to hold a flashlight or do anything else you need to do with it. If you go camping, you probably already use a machete a lot and are used to it, so you'll be more effective and comfortable when swinging it. The length plus the sharp blade makes it a very effective self-defense weapon. Another good self-defense weapon is bear spray. Bear spray is also available at most outdoor shops. You just need to prove that you're over 18. You don't need training to use bear spray, you don't need to be strong, you don't need to worry about swinging anything. It's very simple to use. You just point and spray in the general direction where the danger is, and it'll go about 30 feet in distance. In my opinion, I don't think there's anyone alive who can get hit with bear spray and still be a threat. Another home defense weapon people bring up in my comments is a spear. Now in general, I like spears. They have a metal tip and they're long, so you can keep the attacker far away from you. You can hold it with two hands and put the force of your whole body behind it. It's very hard to survive a direct hit from a spear thrusted straight to the chest or the stomach. There are a couple issues though that people don't think about. First off, it's the length. They're generally very long, so they're good for outdoors, but inside the house it's hard to maneuver around closed spaces. The other issue is, since your whole body is thrusting behind the spear, if you miss, it's hard to pull back and go for another attack. And if you miss, the home invader will get another chance to hit you or be able to grab the shaft of the spear and try to pull it away from you. The next home defense tool, which I think is an amazing choice, is a katana or a sword. Katana were the primary weapon of the samurai, and they've been proven time and time again to be extremely effective in combat. One of the main differences between a fake mall katana and a real katana is the blade. So the fake mall katana will usually have a stainless steel blade, while the real katana will have a carbon steel blade. The real katana is one long solid piece of steel that goes all the way to the end of the handle. Meanwhile, the fake mall katanas, they usually have a rat tang, which means that the end of the blade goes only halfway through the handle, or maybe less. So in many cases, when you're actually using a fake katana, the blade ends up snapping off and hitting you. What I recommend, if you get a real katana, is to practice a lot with it. You can hit pool noodles, bottles, cardboard, and other stuff like that. If you want a safer way to train that doesn't damage your target, just buy a wooden practice sword. You can use that on a bag of clothes, a punching bag, anything like that. You don't need to practice for hours every day, just get used to using it and handling it. Even 5 to 10 minutes a day is a great start. No one can survive a direct hit from a real sword swung properly. Now let's talk a little bit about home defense. Usually when someone is breaking into your home during the day while they see no cars parked and when you're most likely going to be at work, they usually just want your stuff. If someone's breaking into your house at night, they're most likely looking to do a home invasion. There are a lot of people who give the advice that, hey, just comply, they only want your stuff, they'll take it and leave. That might happen if you're lucky, but I wouldn't take any chances with that. They're most likely going to be multiple criminals with weapons, and they're going to be looking to tie you and your family up. In some cases, after they tie you up and you tell them where the valuables are, they end up taking your life anyway. That's because they don't want witnesses, they don't want you to call 911 after they leave, and they're usually on something, so they're even crazier than they usually are. A lot of times they'll put a rag in your mouth so you can't scream, and people end up choking on them and passing away. So your best bet, if they're gonna do all that anyway, is to have the most effective weapon that you can own and take out as many of them as you can. But of course, make sure to follow all your local laws.